just replacing it because it's got writing on it, or it's got Rabinowitz with the glass. They were here about a week or so ago for a store across the way. Sort of snow. It's almost like someone brought snow in and piled it here, or maybe it was on the top of a car that happened to be either from the suburbs or from the other day when we had some snow. But in the city it didn't really stick too much, so I wondered if cars came in from the suburbs and sort of had some on their top, or if there was a short time period the other night when maybe snow built up on the top of a cold car. So heading west on Walnut. This is the 23rd of December, Christmas Eve. Interestingly, all three, I forgot Kwanzaa. All three holidays are in alignment this year for the most part. Kwanzaa is typically December 26th through January 1st. In my mind, I had them as also not always being on the exact dates, but they are on the same dates every year. And of course, Hanukkah goes by a lunar calendar, so it is oddly falling very late this year and starts the eve of Christmas. So on the 25th, go through. So on actual Christmas Day, but at sundown, we'll start Hanukkah, and it lasts through sundown, January 2nd. So it covers the entire time period that, you know, public school, you know, all schools in general have off for the holidays, and you know, typically it's put on the usual Christmas to New Year's holiday time frame. So, and then of course Christmas to New Year's has always been Christmas to New Year's, but all three lining up, Kwanzaa and Christmas always lining up for the most part, except Kwanzaa starts the day after Christmas. So but in a way I wondered if it was a major safety concern. You know, it's every once in a blue moon, like if there's a major parade or marathon, it's like my phone battery will drain, and it's like, is there like a drainage on everybody's phones, like because of high police presence, or what is it? You know, it's like I'll plug it in and it won't charge up. It's like, God, it's been in for like 3 hours and it's still at 56% or 30%. Then all of a sudden it'll charge up to 100%, unless there's something wrong with the outlets. But it typically happens during peak times when maybe there's something going on, you know, in terms of crowd control or festivities. So I did wonder, with Hanukkah and Christmas being smack dab, you know, right on the same time there, if that was a major concern, and would cause, you know, weird glitches and blips in the electronic world. So, whatever, Holy Trinity, Episcopal, technically. I'm Episcopal, technically. Yeah, my mom was Episcopal, and so forth and so on. Episcopalians were created because of Henry VIII creating divorce for the first time in Catholicism's history. So he created his own church, and like the first branch off from Catholicism. That's what it says in history books somewhere, because I was like, that's interesting, because, you know, my sister and I, our parents divorced, and I think it's interesting that my mom was already Episcopal, and I wondered if it's someone's narrative. But anyway, speaking of glitches in the system, every once in a while, and far too often lately, I experience weird electrical current things in my apartment. So one of the examples would be having a buzz sound, like a violent-ish, intimidating buzz sound, go over my ear, as if someone could mimic the sound of a hornet or a wasp, Or, you know, even like a flying locust, you know, something that sounds heavy-ish, or sometimes very quick, like a wasp. But it's zzz, zzz, and it's like that. I'm pretty sure it's like electricity that's been harnessed and used to mimic the sound. And I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Like, this will be when I can't get to sleep. Maybe, you know, I'm got lots of thoughts or, you know, things going on in my head. And sometimes I, you know, I have to work out, you know, arguments in my life, you know, in my own mind or whatever. And it's like, is someone punishing me because I thought about, you know, a really abusive person who I met a long time ago at Sisters nightclub in Philadelphia. And for a second, I'm like, I can't believe that stupid biatch, you know, can get away with what she gets away with and is in a job that she has without anyone. I have no idea if anyone's ever complained about that person, or, but it's like, I can't believe she actually can have a fairly decent-ish seeming job with a salary while good people struggle. So I know a lot of very good people who, you know, would be a blessing, I guess, to have on staff. And then we have people who are borderlines, you know, sexual offenders, borderline, incredibly abusive, working in environments. It's like, you're kidding, I can't believe that. So I was thinking about that last night, and then I was like, what if she's part of the hornet's nest, or the beehive, the wasp's nest, whatever that means, you know, and maybe someone in the sky is punishing me or attacking me because how dare I, you know, how dare I in my mind go over this idea of how could it be that this awful person gets to have a seemingly upstanding-ish job, you know, that's, you know, in a job where you're supposed to be trusted and stuff like that. So, and you know, the rest of us have sort of had to struggle and figure out how to put up with people at those jobs, or, well, you know, in my case, you know, dog walk to earn some money and stuff like that. So it's a buzzing, waspy sound over the ear. In addition, another thing that's happened is that I've had like electrical current zaps go across up by the ceiling, but like just under the ceiling. And it's like, what is that? You know, and one of those times this zapped my tooth. Like I've had an issue with tooth number 15 upper left. And anyway, it's a whole issue of, you know, it possibly needing a root canal, it aligning with a shooting at Direct Dental Club in Nashville, like having a major toothache, like excruciating pain. And somehow I had an electrical current like zapping that tooth.